Hello! And happy Valentine's. Sort of.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Not at all late for that.
Okay, yes and no. Because
Okay.
I feel like, first of all, it's easier and cheaper a lot too to celebrate Valentine's the day afterwards. Especially because this Valentine's fell on a Friday. So actually, even when we were out, we saw like a lot of people like still celebrating Valentine's. Like we asked for a picture and this one couple was holding flowers and like this girl was reading a card. So I think we like interrupted their super romantic moment.
And we know a couple people that we met that celebrated Valentine's the day before too.
All the restaurants were full on Friday and we got reservations for the day afterwards. And I'm like, that's even better because it's not as busy and they don't try to kick you out. So
Yeah.
I don't know, you can celebrate Valentine's. We're celebrating this whole weekend. So that's why we're dressed up fancy because we just got back from a dinner. And it's interesting because Valentine's Day, I made a video 1 year ago talking about Valentine's Day and that, like thinking about Valentine's Day too, a lot of people get upset about it because it's a day that's focused a lot on romance and a lot on romantic relationships. But one thing my dad did a lot too is that I remember he used to always like decorate the house with like little hearts and like we'd always talk about Valentine's Day and talk about something we're grateful for or something that we loved because it's just about love. Like it doesn't have to be about romantic love. Like
Yeah.
I love my family and my friends and like I always call people and wish them happy Valentine's. It's the same and like it's just about celebrating the emotion of love. And I think that gets put on a pedestal a lot with romantic love, but that's not entirely what it's about.
Yeah, and even in my family, we actually focus more on like friendship than actual romantic love.
Yeah, oh, and he got me this little this big koala. So I'm always a koala because I always hug. So I'm always like.
So I got him a huge koala.
You did. I love it. I love it so much. So in the honor of Valentine's Day, we wanted to talk about what makes a relationship healthy. Having somewhat relationship experience, and then like from my past relationships, learning from those past relationships, like past relationships, not just with romance, but also just thinking about like interactions in general, and then our current relationship.
Yeah.
So we have a list.
Oh my gosh.
Well, okay, so we actually made this list before, like this list was just a list we made just because, like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I actually have a list of our similarities and differences on a phone.
I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about it and I made that list?
I completely forgot about it.
I just think it's interesting though, because it's like, well, the reason I'm talking about our similarities and differences first, to then relay that into what makes a relationship healthy. But okay, so these are my differences. This is me versus you, like our first differences. So I'm really forgetful, and you have a strong memory. I like forget I'm just too busy all the time. Like my mind is like clouded up with like so many things going on.
And I'm like always like, hey, remember this, remember that.
I'm oblivious and you're very aware.
Yes.
Especially
with people.
I'm extremely oblivious and I'm like, you're like very aware of the situation and aware of people. So like you help me a lot in that way. And then I'm emotional and you're practical.
Yes, that's actually very true.
I still express my emotions a lot, but I'm very aware of what's happening and I'm very open and expressive of how I'm feeling. Versus you are very linear.
I'm very linear, very practical, and then when my emotions become too overwhelming, then that's when I show them.
And I think that I think both of those, mine and yours, can use tweaking. So it's like just two different ways of how to live your life, and I think both of them can be worked on. I'm stubborn and you're open-minded.
I can be stubborn too, so.
Yeah.
But I'm not as bad as Disney Point. Oh my gosh.
I'm stressed out and you're calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a big one. I get stressed out a lot.
Yeah. I have to stay calm for a lot of reasons. Especially because getting stressed out actually physically harms me more than anything. So
I mean, stress is not good. Stress can be managed to have fixed amounts of stress and be able to deal with your stress. And I'm always trying to work on new ways to handle my stress.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so this is you versus me now, our differences. So you're quieter and I am an extrovert.
Yeah, no, I usually, whenever I'm in a social situation, I scan the room, so I'm usually quiet.
Versus I just jump in what's up everybody, how we doing, how is it going, hey Auntie.
Even today he was just talking to a bunch of people randomly, just complete strangers. He would just make friends with them like that.
I don't know, I just I've had some of the best conversations just with encounters of people.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really have a fear of like talking with people.
Yeah.
You're relaxed and I'm a massive planner.
Oh yeah. He plans everything. He plans the whole entire day and it has to go like...
Everything, I'm plan.
If something's like not planned, he won't do it. Like it has to be planned and I'm more like, let's do this.
You're so go with the flow and I'm like, okay, like what's your opinion on something? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, I need your opinion.
Yeah.
And then you're mellow and I'm Mr. Happy.
Yeah, I'm very mellow.
You're very mellow.
Which comes back to the emotion part.
Because you're still happy too.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm like overly happy.
Yeah.
Like I get called SpongeBob a lot. You're messier and I'm a clean freak.
Yeah.
Like you're not like a messy person, you're just messier. No. Like I feel like I'm just, it's because I'm like so ridiculously clean. I'm like clean, like sterilized, like organized. Like if there's like something on the floor, I'm like, I can't do this. I will clean before I do my work. I can't.
Actually, the only thing that I will keep clean 100% is always the kitchen.
If I share a living space with someone, then I will clean it immediately. Because that's like kind of, but like if I'm just kind of by myself or like, then I'll just, occasionally my dishes might pile up for something.
And I know whenever I come to visit, like I just leave some of my clothes on the floor because I have nowhere else to put them and you flip out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I can see the stress.
But no, now I have a place for you to put your clothes in my closet. Yeah. We're actually, we're moving in together. But like not now.
No,
like
no.
later. Apartment leases.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then we're both romantic, adventurous, creative, family-oriented, culinary, intelligent, philosophical, mindful, grateful, dancey, passionate, driven, and wise.
Yeah.
We came up with all of this stuff that we share the same. I feel like that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I feel like our personalities are very different and our interests and lifestyles are very similar.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. Because I feel like my problems, like you help me with my problems and I help you with your problems.
We balance each other out.
I think that's how you have to do it. Because I was kind of intimidated. Like when I first met you, one of the reasons I rejected him twice. And like, I know that I rejected him twice. Like we talked about this earlier. Like when you asked me out and I said no twice. Yeah. But I remember one of the things is that I was afraid because of how talkative I am and how much quieter you are. And that threw me off a lot because I was like, I can't do this. We're not going to work. I didn't even consider like having a boyfriend that's more quiet. But it's not even that you're more quiet, like you're just much more observant versus I just like I'm more aggressive of like how I just go into conversations like
it's like, hey, how's it going?
I'm just like, hey,
I don't want to even talk.
Like, yeah, I get them to talk. So analyzing our similarities and differences, I feel like that's what's able to allow us to like think about what we can work on in a relationship and like what makes a relationship healthy, right? Like, so we made another list of what makes a relationship healthy stemming off of our similarities and differences. So like, the first one was communication.
Yeah, we talk a lot. Like, even when we drive, like, there was that one period that you were driving from Orlando to Miami and we literally stayed on the phone for like 9 hours.
For like, yeah, it was like for a while.
We would not like get off the phone.
No, we didn't, like, cause like we stayed on the phone even after I got there.
Yeah.
I remember.
And if we don't like call each other, we're always texting throughout the day.
I think that like, stuff builds up when things go unsaid.
Yeah. And
I think over time, especially when things are not said, that like little things don't get said and then it just builds up and builds up and then everything comes out in like a really bad way, or like that's what leads to like a fight or something like that.
Like we literally communicate about everything, even when we're driving. It's like, hey, I'm going to this place, or hey, I'm going to this place. Got it.
Because I feel like we haven't really fought that much. I feel like there's been tense moments and there's just been problems from life. Like your life has had problems and my life has had problems, and that puts us both under stress sometimes. And I feel like whenever one of us gets overwhelmed, the other one is calm.
Yeah.
Like, when I get overwhelmed, you're very calm, and then we talk it out, and then it just like, it's like, I guess you could say it's like an argument, it's like more so just like dealing with a stressful situation, and I think the same goes for you too.
Yeah, if I get overwhelmed.
Like, and this is, like, I feel like another one too is that when something happens and one of your partner, like when one partner is extremely overwhelmed, like I feel like it's good to have, for the other partner to try and stay grounded. So it can, like, as grounded as possible at least, to try and like resolve whatever situation better. Because like, you'll have your own problems and I'll have my own problems, and like we try to help each other out in that way. At least I feel like, right?
Yeah, that way one person is actually the reasonable one.
Which is just like communication in general, which I feel like just talking and just being honest about everything. Like, I'm very honest with you about my past and my present and my future, just because like I don't want to hide anything, and I don't feel like, especially when it's like subconscious thoughts or feelings, I'd rather express them to you than hide something from you.
Yeah.
And then it builds up to something worse later.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very honest to you about my past, of what I've told you, because I also, so I have amnesia, so most of my childhood I don't remember at all.
And that's okay.
So, like, yeah.
That's fine.
So he knows all about that.
Especially like in Cuba.
Yeah.
I understand. Like,
It's fine.
and then like also our lifestyle differences.
Mhm.
Like growing up in Miami versus growing up in Cuba is like two totally different lifestyles,
Yeah, and then I was also growing up in Utah.
which is like very different.
Very different.
And I feel like understanding more of how we were raised differently,
Mhm.
as well as how we were raised similarly, has really, I think we both just learned a lot about each other in that way, and like kind of like worked on how we're different. Like, oh, you know, like how the way I grew up was I was used to a lot of these things, and the way you grew up, you were used to a lot of those things, and we've kind of just been like feeding off each other and like, in a way, just like learning and understanding more about each other a lot. Right? I feel like.
Yeah.
So again, just everything, all of that is just communication.
It's like
Just talk and be honest and be open and be patient, be willing to listen.
A lot of the time we ask like, am I annoying you?
I'm always like, am I annoying you? Am I putting too much pressure? Am I being too clingy? Am I being too like, cause I'm very like, I hug a lot. I hug and I cuddle. He got me the koala because I'm the koala. Like I'm always like
a koala.
Oh.
It's literally a koala.
I always hug. That's
Yeah,
like, I'm a hugger. So sometimes I'm like, am I being too clingy? I don't want to be too clingy. I don't want you like, I'm also paranoid. Like I'm super paranoid that you're gonna break up.
And I'm always like, you're fine.
I'm so paranoid you're gonna break up with me.
I'm always like, you're fine.
Yeah, like emotional and physical involvement.
Yes. So usually for the emotional involvement, like, yeah, just talk everything that you feel.
And just like be in tune with how you're feeling and what's
so
happening.
he talks literally everything that he feels, because everything that he feels you can see it on his face.
I'm extremely predictable. Like if I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm angry, I'm angry. Like everything is just very like, what you see of me is how I am. Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah, for me it's the opposite.
No, I have to like bring it. I have to like Socratic like pull it out of you, like interrogate you and ask questions to kind of get you to like express how you're feeling.
Because emotionally, if I usually stay calm, and this is like going back to my past. Like I had a lot of stuff to deal with, so naturally I just became more like emotionally calm. But over time, if I become too overwhelmed by that particular emotion, it breaks. Like I will break. But he takes it out of me. Like he tries to like pull it out.
It's okay. Like it's okay to express your emotions. Like, and if you don't feel comfortable expressing your emotions to the world, that's fine and that's normal. And if you still want to express your emotions behind closed doors, behind closed quarters with someone that you really trust, that's okay, and it's fine. Because when you let things bottle up, it does break you. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm here for you. Can I hug the koala? Oh no,
it's fine. You can take the koala.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, just physical involvement, just like physically being present. Like,
yeah, even if like you said that you don't have time, even like right now, it's like, yeah, just make time. You always find time.
Balancing the future while living in the moment. That goes back to me being a planner and you being like, go with the flow.
Yeah, but I also do have goals for the future.
I have goals for our future. I have goals for my future and I have goals for our future.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this a lot. And every time we're like, okay, back to the present. Like this is where we are right now.
Yeah.
Because we get ahead of ourselves, so it's like, no, this is where we are.
I'm always planning, but I'm so appreciative of the moment. Like every single day, even really hard days, I'm so grateful for something that's happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always how I am. So yeah, just balance that. I'm so bad at this one. Remove expectations. I'm so bad.
Since he plans so much, he always has a high
I always have expectations.
And I'm like, no.
I'm like always like I'm so wishy-washy. I'm always like dreaming stuff and making sure I'm like, okay, I want this to go well and go like, which is not good in the workplace. It's not good with your friends. It's not good in your relationships. But like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm such a dreamer. I'm always like,
and I always have low expectation and things turn out better than they are.
Yeah. I have way too high expectations. And then this one, and I'm very passionate about this one. The honeymoon phase should not be a thing. No, it shouldn't be a thing. Like people who always say the honeymoon phase, or like if you're really happy when you start a relationship, people say it's the honeymoon phase, or people say it's not gonna last, or like maybe certain things won't like last. But even then I don't like that word. But like it's still like maybe like the passion might lower, but the bond gets higher. Like your strength of the relationship grows. I mean, maybe the initial passion of someone there might die a bit, but
So, yeah, for us, we were like super happy at the beginning.
mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm still happy with you. Like I don't like.
But like at the beginning, like we were still super happy and not a lot of problems showed. But then over time, like we started getting real with each other.
But like, and even though like, I feel like our like arguments or fights haven't even been in that way. I feel like it's been, let's say I get put in this really stressful situation. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm emotional or stressed out, and you're listening and talking, and we're just having an intense talk. Or like something in your life is really stressful, and you're overwhelmed, and I'm listening and talking. And I feel like life has gotten more real, but I still feel just as excited when I see you, just as happy to be with you. And I feel like, in essence, going through those stressful things, our bond like has gotten stronger.
Yeah, it literally has.
Even though life has gotten more difficult and it's not as like glamorous as when we first started a relationship, we've gotten a lot closer just dealing with the issues that life has, and still having that initial happiness that we had. Like the thing is, the honeymoon phase, and one of my friends said this one time, and I thought it was great, that it should be called the getting to know each other phase.
Yes.
Because it's like exciting, it's new, you're curious about this person, you have questions, like it's your partner that you just started dating, like you're excited and like romantic and feeling adventurous and fun, and like I just feel like that doesn't have to go away.
No.
Like I still feel just as romantic and adventurous with you as I was like when we first met.
Yep.
Even like because we were friends for like 7 months before we actually started dating, and we were still having just as much fun. Like just because I rejected him, I just wasn't ready for a relationship. Like I was not ready for and I didn't have feelings for you. And by rejecting you and us being friends organically for all that time, and I came to my own realization, and I was able to allow myself to have feelings for you. I feel like that happiness and that bond that we've had has never died. It's only ever just gotten stronger and just gone through all the things that we've gone through together.
Yeah. Like we go through we're pretty open about everything with each other. And yeah, we go through stressful situations. He calls me from time to time just to figure out life stuff.
Yeah, I call you for life stuff. I'm just like, I don't understand, there's technically, you sometimes have, zero qualification to answer the questions that I'm asking you, but it's just kind of you're just my go-to advisor for life a lot.
Yeah, and I still love surprising him a lot with, this little guy.
Yeah, he went so ham. There was a knock on my door, and he shows up with, chocolates, flowers, this giant freaking koala bear, and then he has a ring. Nope, we're not there yet. But it was, he has a ring. It was well, so what's the point of the ring? It was just kind of like a sentimental item. It wasn't I'm 21 years old. I wouldn't feel comfortable marrying someone yet until I'm truly financially and in a good place for that. But yeah, I mean, we got some good I remember as I was getting to know you, especially every time I date someone, I just think about marrying them, not to be creepy or anything, but just I'm if I'm dating someone, it's I really do see this person in the long term, because it's that's how I date someone, you know what I mean? So as we were getting to know each other, I remember whenever you would say something, I'm check, or you'd say something else, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he still has his little panic attacks. Is this the right person?
Yeah, I do.
He does have that.
But it's not I'm not judging you for anything or questioning anything about you. I just have my own kind of moments where I have to go filter through my head and run everything by my thought process again.
He does that a lot.
But I think that's kind of it. That's everything else we had to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, you and your koala.
No, but you're my koala. I'm just such a hugger.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. He won't cuddle him before he goes to bed.
I will not cuddle before I go to sleep. You can cuddle me to watch a movie. You can cuddle me if we're just sitting and talking. You can cuddle if we're just having a nice moment or eating little snacks but you cannot touch me when I'm trying to sleep.
The only thing that he'll cuddle is that thing.
Yeah, I will cuddle. I need to cuddle a pillow, but nobody can touch me when I'm trying to sleep because it's so I always have problems trying to sleep. It's super difficult, sometimes with anxiety or stress, or I just can't sleep by rolling around. If somebody's hugging me and then it gets hot, or I gotta sweat, or I gotta move around, or just starfish. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Especially because I can feel when you're stressed out.
You can feel like my anxiety.
I can feel his anxiety, especially like even like when he's being restless, trying to sleep. I'm like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
I'm trying. I'm trying. But we have a lot of similarities. We have a lot of differences, and we've been making it work ever since. I guess that's kind of the bottom line.
Yeah, we balance it out.
We balance it out, and I love it. Yeah. And I love you.
I love you too.
So that's kind of it, I guess. We just want to talk about that. Valentine's Day is about love. It does not have to be focused on romantic relationships. We are just talking about ours in this instance. But like the same way I called my family and my friends to wish them happy Valentine's Day, just the same. I hope you guys have had a great Valentine's Day filled with love, and really just take time to just get to know yourself.
Yeah.
And
don't jump into a relationship if you don't know what you are.
I'm happy that I said no to you, because I wouldn't have been the proper boyfriend, and I wouldn't have had the authentic feelings for you that I have now.
Yeah. I mean, it literally sucked, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
It works. It worked out in the end.
I know, I could have lost you to someone else.
Oh yeah, no, because he kept telling me to date other people.
Because I was like, I'm sorry, just, I don't want you to put hope into me. I can't right now. But I'm like, oh, I still like get scared that I could have lost you.
Yep.
But happy Valentine's Day, you guys. I'm working on a lot of other videos, so I will be putting that out soon.
He's almost finishing up, what, Texas?
A bunch of other stuff, yeah. Bye, guys.
Yeah.